If you're in a budget, the iPhone SE and the XR are both excellent options to consider, and these two iPhones are two of the best phones under $500. But the question is, which one's better for you? Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Fed and welcome back to another video, and today I'm gonna give you all the details about these two iPhones. So let's get to the point. Let me know your thoughts about the iPhone SE and the XR and which phone do you like better? I would really like to know. Let's go. One of the biggest differences between the iPhone SE and the XR is their design. With its 4.7-inch display, the iPhone SE is all about having a more compact design, while the iPhone XR has a much bigger 6.1-inch display. The iPhone XR has a much more updated look and feel because of the edge-to-edge display and much more smaller bezels than the iPhone SE. It uses Face ID for unlocking the device, and the iPhone SE comes with a home button and Touch ID, which some people prefer over Face ID, but I personally couldn't go back to the home button. The gesture-based system on the XR is much more efficient, and Face ID works like a charm. Not in a pandemic, of course, but still. On the back, the iPhone SE has a slightly more updated design with the Apple logo right at the center of the device, which in my opinion looks much better. They both feature glass panels, so wireless charging is enabled on both devices. They're also both IP67 water and dust resistant, so they can get splashed or even submerged for up to 30 minutes. But I wouldn't do that on purpose because Apple's warranty does not cover water damage. Also, if you prefer more color options, the iPhone XR is the way to go because it's available in 6 colors and the iPhone SE is just available in 3 colors. So I'm gonna give this one to the iPhone XR because of its much more updated design, and the design of the iPhone SE was first introduced way back in 2014 with the iPhone 6. So in my personal opinion, it looks so outdated and boring. The iPhone SE features the A13 Bionic chipset, which is the same processor found inside the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro. So that's a $1,000 phone performance from a $400 phone. So of course you should expect faster loading times and gaming should be smoother than the XR. Now this doesn't mean that the iPhone XR is slow, because it is not. It's also perfectly capable of handling pretty much anything you throw at it. So the A13 Bionic chip is gonna future-proof the iPhone SE for longer than the iPhone XR. So I'm gonna give this one to the iPhone SE, and it was a very comfortable win for the iPhone SE because again, it is a $1,000 phone performance from a $400 phone. So yeah, it's cool. On the camera department, the iPhone SE and the XR are both equals but not identical. They both feature a single lens 12 megapixel wide angle camera with an f1.8 aperture for better low light performance. Both the iPhone SE and the iPhone XR feature portrait mode on both the front and back cameras, and they also feature depth control, which is a very cool feature that lets you choose how intense the bokeh effect on your shots will be. On the front, the iPhone SE and the XR are both capable of shooting up to 4K video at 60 frames per second, but only the SE has extended dynamic range, which delivers better highlights and shadows for details, kind of like an HDR for video. So again, I'm gonna give this one to the iPhone SE because even though the cameras are very similar, the A13 Bionic chip on the iPhone SE does allow for better performance on the camera. Again, they have very similar performance, but the SE comes on top. There are many benefits to the iPhone XR's larger 6.1-inch LCD display versus the 4.7-inch panel on the iPhone SE. And the XR's display drastically improves the overall experience of using the iPhone, making it a much more immersive experience. Both the iPhone SE and XR feature True Tone for adjusting the color temperature of the display to have a more paper-like experience, and 625 nits of brightness, which is okay. So I'm gonna give this one to the iPhone XR because the edge-to-edge display does improve the overall experience of using an iPhone, and it does have a slightly better resolution than the display on the SE. Though many people have complained about the LCD on the iPhone XR, and of course there are far better options out there, but I've had the XR for over 2 years now and never have I said, oh my god, screen sucks. Never. I've never noticed anything wrong with it. Of course, if you compare it to an OLED display, well, there is a big difference, but unless you compare it, you're not gonna notice it. So I think it's perfectly fine. Oh boy, this is gonna be an easy one because the battery life on the iPhone XR is incredible. Even after 2 years of use and 89% of battery capacity, the XR still has great battery life, And at 89%, still better than the iPhone SE's battery life. With the XR battery health at 100%, I was able to squeeze 46 hours of regular use on a single charge. That is super impressive. And with the iPhone SE, I get through the day okay, but at the end of the day, I do have to charge it because it's either dead or almost dead. So the battery life on the SE is okay. It's not the best. It's not even that good. It's just okay. So I'm gonna give this one to the iPhone XR. This is gonna be a very comfortable win for the iPhone XR because, again, after more than 2 years of use, it still has a very impressive battery performance. And that is not the case with the iPhone SE. When I got the iPhone XR, I stopped worrying about battery altogether. Both iPhones are sold directly by Apple, and you can get the iPhone SE for $399 and the iPhone XR for $499. Something that I also like about the iPhone SE is that for $549 you can get a 256GB version, and the iPhone XR only go as high as 128GB, which is also $549. Oh, top decision. So for the exact same price, you can get a 128GB iPhone XR or a 256 iPhone SE. That is such a tough decision. So I'm gonna give this one to the iPhone SE because I think that the iPhone SE is the best iPhone deal there is. It's unbeatable. It's the full iPhone experience for a much lower price than any other iPhone. And I mean, it's just a $100 difference from the iPhone XR, and the iPhone XR is also a great deal. But the iPhone SE just happens to be better because the A13 Bionic chip is gonna future-proof the iPhone SE for longer than the XR. So if you go with an iPhone SE, you're gonna have a good phone for longer than the iPhone XR. So the winner is, drum roll please. Well, that depends, because deciding between the iPhone SE and the XR is gonna come to very few key factors. If you prefer a smaller phone and the lowest possible price for a new iPhone, then the iPhone SE is the way to go. And even though the iPhone SE is $100 cheaper than the iPhone XR, it still offers a faster performance and a slightly better camera. But if you prefer a larger display, the updated design, and a much better battery life, the iPhone XR is the way to go. The overall winner by very little is the iPhone SE, but both options are really good, especially if you consider that they're both under $500, and that is a great deal. And on that note, it's time for me to go. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit that like button, and if you subscribe, that would be very, very much appreciated. Let me know your thoughts about the iPhone SE and the XR, and which phone do you like better? I would really like to know. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that you guys are all doing great, and I'll see you on the next one.